The ocean is a place of mystery, its depths hiding secrets no light can touch, and sometimes it gives up its ghosts in the form of silent ships drifting with no crew. No answers. Tonight, I'm diving into a terrifying true story from 2019 about a derelict vessel found off the coast of Maine. A ship that wasn't just abandoned, but alive with something unspeakable. This is Mysteries of the Silent Ghost Ship that will hook you from the first wave and drag you into the abyss with a horrifying end. I first stumbled across this story on a maritime forum, a thread about ghost ships buried under posts about lost cargo and storms. A user, claiming to be a retired Coast Guard officer, shared a brief account of a vessel called the Eternal Dawn, found adrift in the Atlantic. Its crew vanished, its decks marked by something unnatural. The post was vague, but the details, a frozen radio, strange symbols, a lingering dread, stuck with me. I dug deeper, chasing leads through Coast Guard logs, local Maine newspapers, and interviews with those who boarded the ship. What I found wasn't just a mystery. It was a nightmare, rooted in a real encounter that left hardened sailors shaken and a town whispering of curses. The Eternal Dawn is no legend. It's a horror that sailed into our world, and its story will make you fear the open water. Let's go back to October 2019, when a fishing trawler off Boothbay Harbor, Maine, spotted a ship drifting aimlessly, its sails tattered, its hull streaked with rust and barnacles. The trawler's captain, Jim Haskell, radioed the Coast Guard, reporting the vessel as a hazard to navigation. It was the Eternal Dawn, a 60-foot schooner last registered in 1995 to a private owner, a wealthy eccentric named Victor Crane, who'd vanished with his crew during a pleasure cruise to Bermuda. The ship was presumed lost, a victim of a storm, but now, 24 years later, it was here, floating silently in the grey Atlantic, its lights dark, its deck eerily still. Jim, a seasoned fisherman, felt a chill looking at it. The ship seemed wrong, like it didn't belong in this world, its silhouette blurring in the fog. The Coast Guard dispatched a cutter, the Reliance, led by Lieutenant Sarah Conway, a 15-year veteran unfazed by rough seas or wrecks. Her team, Petty Officer Mike Torres, Engineer Lisa Grant, and Seaman Alex Reed, approached the Eternal Dawn at dusk, the ocean flat, the air heavy with salt and something sour, like rotting fish. The ship's name was barely legible, the paint peeling, but its hull was intact, no signs of a wreck. No one answered their hails, the radio spitting static that sounded almost like whispers. Sarah ordered a boarding, her team tying off to the schooner's side, their boots thudding on the warped deck. The silence was oppressive. No gulls, no wind, just the faint creak of the ship rocking on the swells. Mike, usually chatty, went quiet, his flashlight trembling as he scanned the deck. The Eternal Dawn was a ghost of itself. Ropes lay coiled, untouched, covered in a slimy film. The wheel was locked, as if steered by invisible hands. The air smelled of decay, thick and cloying, though no bodies were found. Lisa, checking the engine room, gagged. The machinery was rusted solid, yet the fuel gauge read full, untouched for decades. Alex found the logbook in the captain's cabin, its pages brittle, the last entry dated August 1995. It follows us. No escape. The ink was smudged, as if written in a hurry, and the pages after were blank, except for one, covered in jagged symbols, circles, spirals, and eyes, drawn in what looked like blood. Sarah's skin prickled. She'd seen wrecks, but this felt alive, watching them. Below deck, the horror deepened. The crew quarters were frozen in time, bunks made, clothes folded, a coffee mug still warm to the touch, though the ship had no power. Mike found a Polaroid taped to a bulkhead, showing 6 people, presumably the crew, smiling under a clear sky. Their faces were scratched out, the scratches fresh, as if done hours ago. Lisa heard a thump from the hold, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Against Sarah's orders, she pried open the hatch, the stench of rot overwhelming. Inside, the walls were carved with the same symbols from the logbook, floor to ceiling, glowing faintly in the dark. A mirror, cracked but standing upright, reflected not Lisa but a figure, tall, cloaked, its face a void, its hands claw-like, reaching out. Lisa screamed, slamming the hatch, her flashlight dead, the thumping now inside her head. The team regrouped, their nerves fraying. Alex, the youngest, whispered about hearing voices, a woman's voice, singing in a language he didn't know, coming from the bow. Sarah, trying to stay calm, noticed her compass spinning wildly, though the ship was still. Mike's radio crackled, spitting a voice, not the Reliance, saying, "Stay with us." The team moved to leave, but the ropes tying their boat had untied themselves, drifting free. As they scrambled to the railing, the deck tilted, though the sea was calm, and footsteps, heavy, deliberate, echoed from below. Sarah shone her light down the companionway, catching a glimpse of something moving, a shadow with too many limbs crawling up the stairs. She shouted to run, but Alex froze, staring at the mirror in the cabin, now visible through the open door. His reflection was wrong, his eyes black, his mouth stretched in a grin he wasn't making. They barely escaped, rowing back to the Reliance as the eternal dawn groaned, its hull creaking like a living thing. The cutter towed the schooner to port, but the nightmare followed. In Boothbay Harbor, the team was debriefed, their accounts sealed by the Coast Guard, labeled a security incident. Sarah, tormented by the singing voice, quit the service, later sharing her story anonymously online. Mike developed night terrors, dreaming of the mirror's figure. Lisa refused to speak of it, moving inland, away from the sea. Alex, though, was never the same. He became obsessed, sketching the symbols, muttering about the thing that sees. In 2020, he vanished, last seen near the harbor, where the eternal dawn was stored under quarantine. The ship's fate was grim. Docked in a restricted yard, it was studied by maritime experts, who found no explanation for its condition. Wood unrotted, fuel unspoiled, yet the hull vibrated faintly, as if alive. A guard, posted at night, reported lights flickering in the cabins, though the power was cut. In 2021, the Eternal Dawn was scheduled for scrapping, but the night before, it broke free, drifting back to sea. A search found no trace, as if the ocean had swallowed it whole. Locals whispered of Victor Crane, the owner, a recluse who'd studied occult texts, seeking to open doors through rituals at sea. His crew, some said, were part of it. Their disappearance a sacrifice gone wrong. The symbols, analyzed by a historian, matched no known language, resembling sigils tied to ancient entities, things that watch from beyond. I've read Sarah's leaked account, seen Alex's sketches, shared on a dark web forum before he vanished. I tracked down a Boothbay bartender who served the Reliance crew, his face pale as he recalled their haunted eyes. The Polaroid, kept in evidence, shows those scratched-out faces, but one, a woman's, is intact, her eyes unnaturally wide, staring through the lens. The eternal dawn is gone, but its shadow lingers. Sightings of a ghostly ship off Maine, its sails black, its deck glowing with unnatural light. This is Mysteries of the Silent Ghost Ship, a warning that some vessels carry more than cargo, and now, where the horror sinks its teeth. Months after the Eternal Dawn vanished, a fisherman found a lifeboat washed ashore near Booth Bay, its wood carved with those same cursed symbols, its interior stained with blood. Inside was a single object, a cracked mirror, its glass pulsing with a faint, sickly light. The fisherman, too terrified to touch it, called the Coast Guard. But when they arrived, the lifeboat was gone, dragged back to sea, the mirror's reflection showing not the shore but a void, filled with writhing shapes, clawing to get out. The ocean keeps its secrets, but the eternal dawn is still out there, sailing with its ghostly crew, its mirror open, watching, waiting for the next soul to board. Stay off the water, because this nightmare is real, and it's closer than you think.